Welcome everybody to this Q&A for the Ontree Centre. I'm very glad to see all of you. Yeah, and there's more people coming in here from the different parts of the world to be in a space where of discovery of really what is an Archaeology Invention Centre. And us as the Ontree Centre have been discovering and researching and experimenting for nearly 2 years now. And it's a very important phase right now because we are transitioning into moving in together and really bringing everything that we have discovered, that we have explored into the same physical space and start living together in archaeology. And we wanted to open the doors really for all of you to ask the questions and cross-pollinate so that the seeds of other Archaeology Invention Center can be also sprouted around the world. And to share the wisdom, really, amongst all of us. So, and it's really a space where each one of us will be able to ask questions to any of us. Is there anything else from asking to the infinity ring?
Yes, I want to add something to this, what you just said, Jacobo, about the Ontree, which is the Archaeology Invention Center, as there is a difference between being in the transformational spaces and living in the transformational space. So what we are creating is the living space, which is a space for healing and transformation and evolution. And the difference is that this what we learn, what all the skills, all the softwares upgrades and the matrix upgrades that we gain in the transformational spaces, in the labs, in the trainings, we bring it in our daily life, in all the aspects of the life. And which means that it can happen every moment. It can happen in the interaction with ourselves, in our relations, in the interaction with our children, in interaction with Gaia, with the way how we steward the land. And this is what we are bringing. This is what we are inventing at Ontree. So how our life can be in a living space where the evolution happens. And this with my wish is to make it happen in as many places as possible around the globe. And this is what gives me so much fuel to create a different way of living here on planet Earth.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jacobo, I have a question. So do you have a picture from this space where you are or where you are wants to live?
Yes, we do.
Great.
Yeah.
Would you like to share this picture?
Yes. And I will also open the space for other questions while I look for the pictures so that I can share them in here.
Okay.
And while you are looking for the pictures, I will paint a picture for you with my words. So
Yes.
imagine a group of houses quite close together with trees and gardens and the bush and surrounded by water with bridges where we can where we can place ourselves in spaces that will aid our evolution, and that none of us will own the houses, but we will move according to what is moving within us, in between spaces, and where the children can also move between the spaces. I feel so much joy that the pictures that are coming will provide that for us.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Imagine also the birds and the bird song, and in the where the rivers meet, and there is the land, and then they meet again, and on this side of where the rivers meet, there's a little waterfall where you can sit and have the water washing you. A little waterfall.
An important extra is that down the road, within 5 minutes walking distance, is a glorious beach and a huge expanse of horizon and sand and sea where you can nourish many of your bodies.
And I just sent you, Jacobo, on Telegram the presentation of a property that you can display.
Thank you.
How big is it?
Can you ask again, Dagmar?
Yes, I'm curious to know how big is it?
It's one, as I remember, it's 1.8 hectares.
Mhm.
It's about almost 5 acres. I'm not sure how many square meters that is, but it feels very spacious. And behind the property is a hill covered in bush.
Have you guys built houses? Is there houses already built? Are you planning to build more houses? How many people can live there right now?
Right now it already has houses and it's perfect for the group we are at the moment.
And there is
And-
also, sorry.
And we have in the past looked at much bigger properties, and we found that for this beginning stage, we're really wanting to focus on growing the culture amongst us, rather than going into a big piece of land, which will take a lot of our focus and energy into managing the land. And this piece of land, when we found it, it was so clear that it had enough nature. And also it was small enough that most of our attention can go into creating the culture amongst us.
And at the moment, the housing, there are 3 dwellings. So there are 2 houses that are to live. The other house is in the middle, where also are places to live, like rooms, but also it's like a training space, so that we can hold space at trainings in there. So for the setup that we are right now is perfect. Plus there are a lot of place for the camper vans or the tiny houses or a tents for the visitors.
And how many people are currently in the group?
At the moment in Infinity Ring, there are 8 adults and 4 kids.
Okay.
I will share the screen now. Can you all see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow,
it looks
that's
great.
That's beautiful. Oh my goodness. What is that,
It's
sand or rocks? This is
This is gravel.
It's the drop, yeah.
oh my goodness, beautiful.
This is the 4-bedroom house.
Wow.
And is that the training space you were talking about?
No,
No, that's
No.
coming.
Different.
It's so
it's a
open.
big living room.
Wow, look at that.
So these pictures up to now, these are all big house.
They're all big
Yeah.
house, yes.
Whoa, look at that bathroom. No way. It's a sweet bathroom.
This will be the training space.
Yes.
Wow.
Is that a wood fire stove?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
it's an amazing training space.
Yes,
And
and this is a
separate
gallery. This is
from
a
the
gallery
training.
next to the training space.
It
How
was
high
a
are those?
gallery, and it can be turned to something different. Like
Yes,
Mm.
used to be a gallery in the past.
yes.
Yeah, what was this space before? It was like a
It was
people
a
and artists.
pottery.
What was it?
Pottery.
It was
Pottery.
a pottery. And
And this room here was a kiln for a pottery,
Oh, okay.
and that's adjoining the training space as well.
So was it like an artist retreat before or something? Like
Yes.
what was
Kind
it
of,
before?
yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
What would you say, Hannah?
I was asking before, which we can wait until the presentation is done, but I want to hear the origin story of Ontree. Will somebody share?
Yes.
Yes.
Are we looking at the pictures?
Yeah, yes, I want to hear it now.
Okay. So I could begin with Anna and Tristan. Neither of them are here right now. Since Anna came to New Zealand and began delivering expander boxes, I think, can someone remember how many expander boxes she delivered in the first year she was here?
She had a challenge of 12.
Oh.
So she got one expanded box a month and
Yeah.
she did this challenge.
Wow.
Yeah. And then also delivering labs, and her and Tristan were together in a house and they were delivering all sorts of transformational spaces and trainings. And then the house that they were living in, the owner wanted to sell it. So that's when the first Ontree vision came about. They realized, this is not a house. This is an Akiaki Invention Centre. And that was the very beginning, as far as I know. Can anyone else add anything about that? Some of you were in those transformational spaces.
I have another piece of the story. I have the piece about the name. The story that I heard is that they're trying to find a name, and I asked it in this interview, like where this name came from, because I thought that was a name of a tree, like an oak tree. And I discovered that they were doing an improvisational game to find the name with their name, like Anna and Tristan, and it was like Ontree, and then the name Ontree came from playing with their name. And the story that I heard is this collaboration between the archetypal initiated masculine and the archetypal initiated feminine, and that two names dancing and Ontree. So this is the story that I know from the name. And I've been in New Zealand December last year, and I somehow was part of the group for 6 months. And my experience of what is Ontree about is this Taurus that it was formed in New Zealand, and like really this way of living together. I think also because everyone lives close, and there are like possibility teams that happens since 2 years, I guess, that people meet every week, and people gather really to do daily life, like watching a movie or cooking together or going to the beach or meeting in the beach to make a cacao drinking, or doing emotional healing process in that personal way, I could experience that an archetypal sense of family. And I even feel fear using the word family, but it was this experience of togetherness and collaboration in the daily life that happened and that emerged and that creates the possibility to emerge a different way of being with each other and create culture. And I think that is invention because it happens in the now. It's not like sitting and thinking how it goes to plant food or how it goes to raise children, but it really happens from the interactions going on there. And one more legend that I want to tell before passing on to the next person is I was part of one of the convergence, and then Leo, that he's 4 years old, he was wanting to play with a knife. I don't know how he is now, but back then he really loved to play with knives. And then he came over and he was like, I want a knife, I want a knife. And I remember that Anna just looked at him and invited Bowie, who is 6 years old, and said, Bowie, do you have a possibility? Because you will not play with a knife, because a knife is dangerous for you. Do you have a possibility? And Bowie said, well, yes, I have a wooden knife. And then Bowie went there and took the wooden knife. And then Bowie gave the wooden knife to Leo and they started playing. And this for me was just such a tiny glimpse of what is possible, like this empowering the children to be with the children, to create that culture, this student culture. And this is, I think, a tiny gift that I took with me from the time I was in that convergence, for example.
Thank you, Gabriela.
Thank
you.
And
I'm following.
Go, Anton.
Okay. Thank you, Patricia. I'm following you already for a while, also through Gabriela and well the work with possibility management, and I know that you already looked for a land for quite some time, and somehow it always, well, Echo let you take your time to find the land, kind of. And I would like to hear some legends of this time where you're kind of creating the community or the team for your project, and at the same time you still don't have this land where you have something big together where you involve probably a lot of money. And so how did you prepare for these big steps?
Now I see that it was a necessary amount of time for us to go through the liquid states we had to go through to be ready for the step of finding the land and be ready for this next step we're entering now. And I see my liquid state has been so big in the beginnings when we started looking for land, where I was looking at these, I wanted these huge properties where we would be like completely self-sustainable, do the whole thing, like have cows and have all the wood lots and do the whole homestead thing. And this was in the beginning of the journey. And I went through a big liquid state personally of also letting go of the homestead identity and the self-sufficient, preserving mother identity, and letting these pieces fall away. And I think all of us in the group have gone through similar liquid states with own identities to come closer to what is needed for Ontree, not from my identity or from my personal preferences. What is the land needed for Ontree? And also right now, not like with a bigger vision straight away. What is needed for Ontree right now? And a year ago I would have a complete no to this property, we are having this big yes for now.
Hearing you, go ahead.
Yeah, and now I see that so much has shifted in me. And when I stepped in this property, it was so clear my yes for this property, because it's perfect for Ontree now.
I just wanted to say, Maria, or is it Maria Rita or just Maria?
Yeah. Maria Rita.
Maria Rita. Hearing and then seeing Joseph with this map in the background, which came just from the lab we were in about game world building, and about how game worlds begin from the 3-cell, and instead of starting from the top with this big vision of this is how it's, you know, we're going to have this land and do these things. It really starts just with sourcing the context from the people who are the originators of the project. So yeah, I feel really glad hearing you talk about how this grew organically, and taking these small steps of creating the context in the game world, and now you're at the step of actually finding land.
And
This
and I
brings
want
me
to
back
add,
to the question that you brought earlier, Hannah, about the origins of Ontree. And Renee started sharing about Anna and Tristan started Ontree together. And then Patricia and Renee, who are here, joined Anna in Ontree. And from there, Ontree started, what I experienced is Ontree started gaining more mass, and it became like gravity for others to start joining.
Yes.
I didn't experience us going out, reaching out and searching for people to create Ontree.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would,
Gravitating towards Ontree.
yeah, and I would add to that for me it's been a big journey of letting go, and the letting go continues and continues and continues. So and it started with selling my home and deciding, yes, this is what I want to do, moving over here to the Bay, letting go of my home, my garden, my job, my community, and Renee placing ourselves in the middle of a much bigger property, which was, well, there were several properties where we thought this could be where it may happen. This could be the place. But and that didn't, as time evolved, it was like, no, this isn't where it is. So there was a letting go of that too, a letting go of a letting go of the dream of a tiny home, which I always was really attached to, which may happen down the track, but it's not the necessity right now. So for me, it's so far, and it's a lot of shed. I think Maria Rita said that, shedding skins, and letting go, and like, okay, letting go for a vision, for something that's not about me.
And I think what you just said, Patricia, is another very important piece of the liquid state of Ontree right now, which is not just about moving into the same physical land, but it is also about growing into a bigger size, because Ontree is not really about the people that live in Ontree. It is a invention center, an archaeology invention center.
Yes.
It has also the purpose of spreading the seeds for other archaeology invention centers. And it is also a space where all of you can come.
Woo!
And really gather the seeds.
Yay. I'm wondering how
And bring your wisdom also. It's like going both ways.
Yes, and I just want to add a little piece. What you said, Hannah, about the building the game world from 2 or 3 people, because after the house didn't sell with Tristan and Anna, then Anna and Patricia and I were sat around the kitchen table for nearly a year, thinking about the Bright principles and thinking about just thinking about creating Ontree, and we filled pages and pages and pages. And then you said, Rita, this started to gather momentum and it started to become magnetic. And then we would have conversiviews with people who also were interested in joining us in Ontree. So from this two cell, then the 3 cell, then the magnetic kind of thing happened, and then suddenly we were 10, and then we went down to 8, and then it just like the size like a amoeba kind of growing. And so that was yeah, that's what happened next.
Are
Here we
you
are today.
close to a town or a city, or are you really far out there? Like, how close is the nearest metropolitan area?
We're about 10 minutes from a very little rural airport, and there is a town 20 minutes away. It's a very cute old world town, quite narrow
The
and
town of
very
Takaka.
yeah, the town of Takaka. It has its own kind of alternative culture amongst some, rural, quite a bit of rural land too. So we're kind of far out, but we're kind of not too far away for people to come.
Because of the airport.
Because of the airport. And yeah, there's a mountain between Takaka and the rest of the world, which is quite spectacular. It only takes about half an hour to get over it, but it's quite a big mountain.
How many people are into town?
I'm not sure. I think maybe
Hmm.
because it's a big rural catchment, maybe I'm guessing, what do you think? Maybe 20,000 in the whole area of Golden Bay?
What I
But
heard what I heard in the town is about 3,000 people in Takaka.
3,000 in the town.
Regularly living, yes.
Takaka?
Yes.
Yes.
There's quite a few alternative communities over here spread amongst the rural population.
And I want to add that this place where we are, it's a really like a nest, because we are in the bay. So with the bay, with the direct contact with the ocean, and all that place is surrounded by mountains, all of that. So it's like a very special, energetic space here.
Wow.
And everywhere where it's like a bigger city, it's like you need to cross the mountain to go there.
Yes.
Wow. Amazing.
Yes, the mountains are covered with bush on the one side, and then there's this huge expanse of the sea on the other side.
Sounds beautiful.
It's the top of the South Island of New Zealand. This is where we are, the very top of the South Island.
And what will the practical culture look like? Like, how do you live that together? You meet once a week with everybody, or every day, or you cook together every day, 3 times a day, or never, or you want to have your own kitchens one day, or will you live always in one house?
We don't
What are your
know.
visions and plans?
We haven't decided, and this is really like the invention center. We don't have a recipe for how it will go. And the creation will really come from experimenting in going with the necessity and noticing what works, what doesn't work. And for each person to bring their necessity forward and then propose something, experiment, try something else. And this is the ongoing discovery through as there's this sentence that we've been using, that we're fueled more by questions rather than answers.
I'm scared to add and say more and use my voice, but I am going to anyway, because I'm aware that we're being guided by many of you. And I'm in the 5-body journey with Sonia at the moment, and we're talking about like resonance, what resonates with us, what turns us on. And so all of these connections that we have with all of you and many more in the world are actually guiding us through the gremlin transformation, through the what resonates, through finding the yeses and the nos. So it feels like we're part of this web, and we're affected all of the time by all of you.
Yes, and I want to add to that, because yes, I'm in a training with Gabriela, and just doing a list recently, if I had my authority, I would. And it's so much about so much of us living together is so much about being in my own authority.
So the house is like, if everyone will have their permanent house, I don't think so. And there are many possibilities also, because there are 3 different buildings. We can experiment with different configurations. And one experiment we're looking at is at the possibility of women living all together in one house, and men living in another house.
Sounds great. I love that experiment.
Yeah. We had a convergence on the weekend, and one of the things that came to me is we're creating a place where women of the earth can come and live free of the constraints of patriarchy.
And I would add not only women of earth, but everybody and anybody who wants to experiment doing something different than patriarchy.
Want to know about the legal structure. I know that some people have been researching different legal ownership. I don't even know the terms, but I know somebody was doing research about a legal structure where the land owns itself and the people are stewards of it. And yeah, will you share about what your ownership structure is?
Yes. So we've been investigating what will work best for now, for this stage. And according to their, like a company with a common shares or cooperative company. And finally, we decided for the for the current stage, we will buy the land as a private for people that can buy the land. Because, for example, me and Eva, we are not residents, residents yet, so we can be as a share as a people that buying the land legally. So
you cannot do it, or you can do it.
we can't do it yet. Yes, and so this is the first stage. We are buying the land privately, and in 2 years we can do we can sell this land to whatever structure will appear. And we don't know yet what we want to create, how the organization will look like, if we need any operational organization or not. So we give ourselves the time to make this decision, to not create, artificial like a entity. So we need to maintain. So we just starting from the simplest way as possible, buying this private.
This was a beautiful solution, because we paid a lot of money for a very expensive lawyer, and the solution we came to was you don't need anything complicated. You can have the private ownership for the people who are providing the money for this project, and then you can give it time to evolve, which was wonderful because it doesn't tie us down to anything, but it allows the evolution of the next step to come. But yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's like, sorry, I'm really in map world right now because I just came out of the trainings, but it's like the map of rapid learning, like just go, just like start something and then see what happens.
Beep shift go.
Keep shift go.
What has been, speaking, just follow up on that, has there been any, like, what are some memorable beeps that you guys have had where you shifted and did something different? I know you've said a few things already of that, but are there any other ones that are memorable, times when you were going one direction and then it totally changed? And yeah, you've already said a few of them, but I'm wondering if there's any others. Like something that didn't work and then change it.
Yes, one happened last week's Q&A, and after the Q&A, we noticed that we were playing small because most of us in the group have this like modest box, and we were playing small, and the space wasn't. There was after the space this experience, and so this was a beep. Like the space didn't fly, and we didn't bring into the space what we really want to bring. And so we went through a liquid state, and during the convergence that happened just this last weekend, we also explored this topic about the visibility and being bold and being louder and bigger and more arrogant and declaring who we are and what we're doing. And it's not only like, oh, we're just this group of possibilitators wanting to live together. It's about something a lot bigger for ourselves and for the community and for also the world. And during the convergence, one of the things we did was going to the market in this town and offering a possibility menu. And here we already also practiced being more visible.
You did that in the town close by, the Taka
Yes.
town? Oh, cool.
Yes.
In the center of the market.
How did it go?
We really took the center spot, so people, most people were passing, and yeah, we were like busy all the 3 hours we've been there, or 4 hours, and it was amazing that we've been there with children, and children were there. So we had one space. There was on the right side, on the left side, other spaces, and children were just going there and selling with other people that the vegetables or some other things. So it was like we emerged in the village of the market already. Yeah, it was so amazing experience that we want to keep going with this for the next.
That's awesome.
For the next market spaces, like they are happening every week right now.
Go.
And for me, it was just like a perfect, like a metaphor or like a symbol of what Ontree is. That you can be there in the middle and you can feel all your feelings. Where here someone is selling carrots, here's some clothes, here's something else is happening, and this is just so like a community thing. Like and for me, it's like a new normal, like a new normal way of being. Like this is such an important. It was like a heart of this market. And I love it. I want it more.
I love that. I love how like the idea of like feeling big feelings is just as common as buying a carrot. Like that's so awesome. Like I want that. So thank you.
Yeah.
And during that time, I realized how scared I was. And even though I made this jump to leave my old life and come into this new life, when they said they were going to the market, which I know so many people and I work in the community, I was so scared and I just wanted to hide. And now when I hear about it being talked about like this, it's like there's some part of me that actually, even though I was ready, I'm getting more and more ready to be be visible and to really be in this community as an Aakan woman. And yeah, I just love that. I love that leap that you took, and I'm coming more and more with all my bodies, I think, towards Ontree. I thought I was there, but I'm still traveling towards the centre.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually that feels very similar in some ways to me with right now I'm really wanting to build like a village and create and do more like live in this way of my feelings and being and I know so many people in the area I live. I'm scared to change and like myself and like when you guys are talking about the farmers market, I was like, oh, we have a farmers market here every Tuesday in the summer. I could do a map there and I feel really scared about it because like
Yeah.
I just go to the market, I know all these people, and I'm like, man, like, in some ways it would be easier to go to like Times Square and just do it in New York with randos, but I really want to do it here, and so I'm glad to hear you say that, Renee, about your experience.
Yeah.
And as Margarita was saying, this piece about being more visible is really a new piece in Ontree. Like coming out of this modest box and embody actually what this project is about on a global level and also like on a local level, simply like in Takaka or in the Golden Bay community. And I want to also open the space here to receive possibilities on how to grow into this project more and being the stand that we are taking also in the community.
I have a question which is related, which is when I go on the website, I see that there are trainings, it says ETBs and labs and rage clubs, and then you mentioned the possibility menu. So are you already offering things as Ontree? Like are you already, even though you're not in the physical space yet, but are you offering like this, like we are Ontree and this is, we're doing a rage club or anything like that?
I don't know if Sana, are you here? But it's exactly the topic that Sana were exploring yesterday and put the proposal to the Infinity Ring about that. So we are about to restructure the whole website and put all our services as the service of Ontree. Because for now we were working more individually, like everyone was doing something, delivering the trainings or labs or EHPs or other spaces. But there was not the one common umbrella for all of that. So this is the shift that we are making now, and probably in the next weeks it will be more visible for the outer world.
Yeah, and I love that. Oh, someone have something.
Sana.
Just that. Oh, okay.
I have another possibility for you, Jacopo, of also going into what already exists there. There might be soccer clubs or singing circles for church or whatever, and socialize with the people that are there and be the possibilitator that you are and offering your non-material value to the people that live their life that has the local culture that has grown over so many years and become part of it.
Thank you, Anton.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to say that I love this idea of starting to offer things as Ontree, because then it's also like what you were saying of Ontree is not about the people, and it's also not even about the land. It's about it's about the game world, and you already have a game world that exists, and so you can already start to make these offerings in the world. And that's really exciting to me also in thinking about like building a village or building a game world. Is you don't need land to start doing that, and you don't need to have all the people. It's you just need whatever, you just need your game world and you can start
and own this game world. So what I discovered in my journey in the last days, especially, that I was somehow separated from the game world of Ontree because I was scared that it's too big. And I'm glad about this recognition, because now I take it back into my space. And I have a legend about the Ontree entity, as a few months ago when we were thinking about the other land to buy, and we as the group, we made a decision, okay, we want to buy this land. And it was like a decision. And then that night I was lying in the bed and I could really feel like how the energy of Ontree is entering into my bodies. It was like really going through like the waves of the energy, and I knew this is something happening now. Like the entity it was born with our decision. And then the next day we met again in the convergence, and Anna shared she has similar experience at night. And it is like when this was this one sentence that I had that night, that this is not anymore about me. And so this is about the game world, which is the entity, energetic entity that is already operating for us, through us.
I got chills as you were speaking. Yeah, thank you.
I have something else that for you, Jacopo, and that hinges on what you just said, Eva, which is there's like, yeah, and there's some fear about this either it's about me or it's not about me, it's about the entity. And there's this place where both of them are relevant, that on each, and the possibility is to keep creating 2 and 3 cells where the necessity of people meets and deliver offers to online, in person, just to whoever else has that necessity too. And it's as if then this multi-petaled flower just keeps expanding in each of the petals and grows and grows and grows in all the directions. Along with what Anton was saying about meeting the necessity too, like finding people in the geographical proximity who also share that necessity, maybe on a different level than you in terms of how much experimenting you've already done, but turning around to create experiment spaces for people to do their maybe first experiments while you're doing your 3rd, 4th, 5th experiments, and keep building out that way energetically the field.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah.
One possibility I have is to build a playground that is for adults and for kids, and then invite Takaka to come and play, because I've experienced community can really be built with play and a lot of possibilities, and it's very, with physical play, it's very apparent, and it can be really translated to the kind of play of in possibility management, of playing with more like other different types of ways. That's one thing I've been trying to explore, and I've explored at the lab I was just in, is how, like, what is my meme about play and how it can translate to everything in life. And play is not just silly and fun, but I think that having spaces where adults and kids can play is amazing for making friends and really, like, with the possibilities, oh, let's play this game, or let's work out and do a pull-up or swing on the thing. So that's one possibility, is to build a
Joseph,
really cool...
Joseph, will you come and build a playground for us? Will you help to design it?
I feel very glad. Yes, I would love to help to design it. I have a story that I suck at building things, but I love designing things, and I'd be very happy to build with people, and I'm a yes for that. And I feel fear to commit to coming right now because I don't know, but
Doesn't have to be right now.
I would love to collaborate.
Proceed.
That'd be so fun for me. Thank you.
if you take that very serious, you can go to Basel, the city in Switzerland. They have amazing playgrounds for adults and children. So
Oh, okay, I write this
it's a
down.
good place to learn.
I was in Holland and they had amazing playgrounds when I was 12. In the US, every time they renovate a playground, they make it less fun and more safe. So as a kid growing up in New York, there'd be really fun playgrounds and then they're renovating it. And afterwards, I always knew it's going to be boring. So there's certain playgrounds I've been to that are amazing. And I love the ninja parks and I could go on, but thank you. I'll look at it. Basel.
Keep sending us your research, please.
Yes, I would love to.
And speaking about children culture, I would like to hear a bit what you thought, how you will create the culture for children well, I am asking this question because in Lakesh we had just one child and many adults, so we were focused on our work, and somehow it was not so easy for for adults to find this place. So I would like to know how you integrate the children in your creating culture.
I would say that this is also the invention part, as we are not living together yet. We were living together before, like me, Wojciech, and our kids with the other family that was the part of the Infinity Ring before, with the child. And we were making many different experiments. So, for example, we were experimenting with sharing space holding or rotating space holding, because all of us as adults, we also have a force of creation that we want to create something different than only being with our children. So we're finding the experiments where we can do it, where we can also bring ourselves more to the world, also as a mothers of young kids. So bring our non-material values. And we did 2 different experiments. And then we will keep going with another experiments when we will live together, because at the moment we are living in the separate places. So I see that this.
Will you share the 2 experiments you did?
Yes, so we did we were living for 3 months in the bush, in a big bell tents. So we invented everything from scratch. It was just bush. And and we were making the experiment when we created the game plan of, so the shift for us that time, it was a year ago, was to leave all our patriarchal income streams and start delivering non-material values. So we left everything what we were doing, and then we started completely new. So we create a game plan where we had the schedule, who is working when, who is space holding when for kids, so that we have time as adults, as parents, to do this what we really love to do and to bring it to the world. And it lasts for 3 months, this experiment. And a lot of beautiful things happened. Like we started to build our website. We were meeting on the Convergence weekly, checking for the possibilities, for the empowerments, for the EHP. So we were supporting each other in the next steps of our evolution, so that we can really live in archiarchy and live the patriarchal world.
And Eva, as I remember, you had times scheduled with kids for your work and also for couples to have time together without kids.
Exactly, yes, because that was also one of my pain, like as a mother busy with kids, that we were missing time with each other, like me and Wojciech. So thanks to the living with other parents, other adults that have a similar necessities, we could create that. And this I love, and I love it. And then we came with Wojciech to Poland, and we created the bridge house for 1 month, with a family bridge house, and we were 10 kids and 5 kids and 10 adults. And it was amazing space, and it just made me so much put me to this place where I have no doubt I want to live in the village, because the village is working for me, it's working for kids, and this is one of the reasons also why I want to live at Ontree and not as a nuclear family. and in the context of radical responsibility, when we can really empower each other and be in our team.
In the same way that it works in the village, not in the nuclear family for the children, it's the same as growing older and living with an intergenerational group, growing older, because one day Patricia and I, we've been together for 35 years, and one day one of us will die. And how we used to live down in Ferron Street, when someone's partner dies after 40 years, well, that person is on their own, and it's just crazy. And so like the intergenerational living is important part for me of living in Ontree for all of us. It's beneficial for all of us to support each other at the different life stages.
And there's really like a big piece that Eva also brought in the beginning is with creating an Archaearchy Invention Center, it's bringing these pieces that we explore and research mostly in trainings into day-to-day life, and reinventing how does it go with finances, with resources, with children, with food. It's really looking at all aspects, and we don't have the answers yet. And I'm glad we don't have the answers yet. And every convergence we've had, the topic of kids has come up. How to handle it, and it's an ongoing exploration in trying things out. One big question that came up in the first convergence, I remember, was about how does it go. There's this, like, it takes a village to raise a child. How does it go for all of us adults take responsibility for the kids in the space? And then where is the line that the parent is avoiding taking responsibility for my choice? I chose to have a child. And where is it that I am avoiding taking responsibility for my creation and wanting others to take care of it? So these are like great explorations. And even though we had this question come up already months ago, we don't have the answer yet. It's an ongoing research.
And I want to add to that the question that is with me in this research for a year already is like, how in the village, how create the village so that there is no difference or this difference between a parent and the other adult in the village. And I don't have an answer yet. But what I gained so far is that kids, they need also other adults that have other qualities than I have, so that they are exposed to different possibilities.
Are you documenting and sharing this process of giving birth to the Ontree Centre?
We will. It also came up days ago, and we will start process of documenting, and that will be also in the website.
Okay. Because this is also a possibility for you to create more mass, more gravity for people to become aware of the Ontree, but also the Archaearchy Invention Center. Because just now in like 3 minutes, Maria Rita and you, Eva, you shared some things that was like, wow, this is amazing. And it's like you are having the step by step of trying, failing, and trying again and discovering, and it's great for other people to inspire other people, basically. So
thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
And there is a YouTube channel that is called Ontree Archaearchy Invention Center. There are some interviews there, and a possibility that I bring to all of us, which is to reach out to people in Ontree and ask to interview them, and to on Zoom and have a conversation. And like you said, Clemence, you really turned on about researching on this student culture. and then you're reaching out to Maria Hita and to Eva and Wojciech and Jacopo and like, you know, cross-pollinating and starting making these bridges and these connections, and questions that you might ask would start bringing more the things out. And this was something that I was part of what turns me on and I was doing when I was there. And I see the potential of more people doing that also, and how this can create more mass also on the globally to the global village.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriela.
Thank you, Gabriela.
And by doing this, then you might also have a piece for us.
Exactly
that's
what I was
invisible.
about to say, because in Lakesh we live together, and so we experiment also things, and we also have beeps and goals that could inspire you. So I would be more than happy
Yes.
that exchange our pieces.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for coming to the space and cross-pollinate together.
Thank you so
And
much.
Thank you. Go Ontree.
more spaces like this.
I still have so many questions.
No.
We don't have space.
Don't stop asking them. Don't ever stop.
Yeah.
We have you know the channels to communicate with us. Yes.
Yes, yes.
And we will come with more spaces also to meet you more
Yes.
often.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Now.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.